Hey guys, it's Mr. Moulton. I wanted to work through a few problems with you today, even though I couldn't be there in class with you. So let's start with question number 1. It is x squared plus 7x plus 10. And we need to draw the box because that's the method we're going to use in order to factor these polynomials. So we drew our box and we need to label each one of these terms. We'll call the coefficient in front of the first term A, the coefficient in front of the second term B, and the coefficient in the last term as C. So after we have those labeled, we're going to take our very first term, coefficient and all, and put it in the very first box. So in this case, we're going to have x squared. Then we're going to take our last term and put it in the last box. So in this case, that's plus 10. After we do that, we need to take a times c, and again, a is the number that's in front of the first term, and c is your last term. So in this case, a is 1, c is 10, and 1 times 10 is 10. Now we need to find all of the factors of 10. As I write off the screen where you can't see it. So, factors of 10. We know that some of the factors of 10 are 1 and 10, and 2 and 5. And our goal in writing out the factors is to try to find a factor, or the two factors that when we combine them together, they equal our B term. And in this case, our B coefficient is 7. So what adds up to 7? Well, 1 and 10 add up to 11, but 2 and 5 add up to 7. So we will use 2 and 5. Now it doesn't matter where we put them, which box we put them in, as long as we have an x after it. So it's going to be 2x in one box, and then 5x in another box. And now our last thing that we need to do is find what's common in the rows and the columns. So in the very top row, we need to see what's common between x squared and 2x. And that is an x, because x squared has 1x and 2x has 1x. In the bottom row, the common number is 5. First column, the commonality is x. And in the second column, the commonality is 2. So what we found is that our solution is going to be x plus 5 and x plus 2. All right, let's try question number 2. And question number 2 is x squared plus 9x plus 8. So once again, we need to draw the box, and we need to label our coefficients as being a, b, and c. And then we need to take the first term and put it in the first box. So we'll have x squared. I know every example we've done so far has been x squared, but there will be problems that have something other than just x squared. Then we're going to take our last term and put it in the last box, so 8. Now we need to figure out what a times c would be, and that's 1 times 8, which equals 8. So let's find some factors. So factors of 8 are going to be 1 times 8, 2 times 4, I think that's it. Now, which one of those factors adds up to be 9? Well, that's easy. And here I go, writing off the screen again. Well, 2 plus 4 is 6, so that doesn't work. 1 plus 8 is 9, so we know that that's going to be our answer. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our 1 and our 8 and we're going to throw x's on the end of them and we're going to put them in our last remaining boxes. Doesn't matter what order you put them in as long as you have both of them in the remaining boxes. So 1x and 8x. Now we need to find the common factors. So the common factor on the top row once again is x and the bottom row is 8. The first column has a common term of x and the second column has a common term of 1. So that means that our solution will be x plus 8 and x plus 1. All right, question number 6. It's just a little bit different than before because now we have a subtraction sign in there. So it's x squared minus 9x plus 20. Let's label our coefficients. A is 1, B is negative 9, and C is 20. Draw the box and place the appropriate terms in their boxes. So in the first box, we're going to put x squared. In the last box, we're going to put positive 20. And then we need to figure out what factors will give us 1 times 20, which is 20. But the tricky thing is factors that when we combine them will give us a negative 9. Now since it's a positive 20, we know that what that means is that we have to have two negative numbers because a negative times a negative is a positive. But we might as well just find the factors as if they were positive since the factors are going to be the same. So those factors are 1 times 20, 2 times 10, and 4 times 5. When we combine them, we see that 1 times 20, or 1 plus 20 will give us 21. 2 times 10 gives us 2 plus 10, which is 12. And 4 times 5 is 4 plus 5, which equals 9. But like I said, we want negative 9. So we need to assume that we're talking about negative 4 and negative 5. So I'm going to write 4x and 5x, but then put some subtraction signs or negative signs in front of the 4x and the 5x. So now I need to find what's common in the first row, and that's x, and the second row is a negative 5. The first column is an x, and the second column is a negative 4. So then my solution will be x minus 5 and x minus 4. Okay, so question number 13. Sorry, it's a little bit blurry. X squared plus 7x minus 18. And just like the other problems, we're going to label our coefficients as A, B, and C. And then we're going to draw our box. And once again, x squared will go in the first box. and negative 18 will go in the last box. Do not forget the negative sign. Do not forget the signs that are in front of each coefficient. Okay, so now a times c. We know a times c is going to be 1 times negative 18, which is equal to negative 18. So now we need to find the factors of negative 18 that will add up to positive 7. So we see negative 18 could be factored as 1 and 18, or negative 18, negative 1 and positive 18, 2 and negative 9, negative 2 and positive 9, 3 and negative 6, or negative 3 and positive 6, which I wrote off the screen, but that's okay because we all know that that will not be our answer. Because 1 and negative 18 give you negative 17, negative 1 and 18 give you 17, 2 and negative 9 give you negative 7, negative 2 and 9 give you a positive 7, and that is our answer. So our factors are negative 2 and positive 9. So let's take those factors and plug them in with x's into the boxes. And once again, it doesn't matter where you put them as long as they are both in there. So we're going to have a negative 2x and a positive 9x. Top row, common factor is x. Bottom row, common factor is 9. First column, x. Second column, negative 2. So our solution is x plus 9 and x minus 2. Okay guys, this is the last example problem that we're going to do, partly because I've already eaten up a whole bunch of your class time, and the other part is because it is 10:40 at night and I turn into a pumpkin at 10:45. Okay, so question number 19. X squared minus 5x minus 6. Let's turn it into a box form and label the coefficients as a, b, and c. We know a is going to be 1, b is going to be negative 5, and c is going to be negative 6. So we've done enough of these where we probably don't even need to do that. So let's just plug in x squared to the first box and negative 6 to the last box. Let's find the factors of 1 and negative 6, or 1 times negative 6, which is negative 6. So we know 1 and negative 6 will work. We know negative 1 and positive 6, 2 and negative 3, negative 2 and positive 3, and the factor that we are looking for is we want them to combine to equal negative 5. So when we take 1 and we add negative 6 to it, we end up with negative 5. So that is going to be our solution here. We're going to take those and plug them in. 1x in one box, and then negative 6x in another box, and then check the rows and the columns. So top row has a common x, bottom row has a common negative 6, first column x, second column 1. So our solution will be x minus 6 and x plus 1.